Gluten is a substance that's found in food that is being blamed for making some health conditions worse. We are taking dietitian Renee Coles to task today to find out more about gluten. So Renee, what is gluten and where is it found?
So gluten is a storage protein found in grains such as wheat, barley, rye, and other cereal grains. Gluten is really the component of the dough that really gives it its elasticity, its form, and really gives it its shape and helps it rise. If you have celiac disease, even a small amount of gluten can be harmful to the small intestine, and therefore really need to avoid gluten at all costs and adopt a gluten-free diet. So initially, gluten-free eating can seem a bit challenging for many individuals because it seems to be everywhere, but we do eat a lot of foods that don't have gluten in it, and it just takes a lot of patience and creativity throughout your day to be able to stick to gluten-free eating.
What are some of the ways people can remove gluten from their diet?
So typically, as I mentioned before, gluten-free eating is surrounded a lot for those individuals with celiac disease. But if you are someone that is looking to remove gluten, there's a few things you need to consider. So you really need to think about reading labels. Gluten is hidden in a lot of products, and there's a lot of good resources out there that can help you locate that gluten in those products. So the Canadian Celiac Association is a great website that you can access that has a lot of resources about gluten-free products. There's also the Canadian Celiac Association pocketbook of ingredients, and that's actually a little pocketbook you can sit in your pocket, and you can take that and it would tell you certain products that have gluten in it. As well as there's a lot of apps for your smartphone that you can actually download onto your smartphone, and it gives you a quick reference of what products have gluten and not. The other thing that is really encouraged is to contact food companies and restaurants. So you can contact restaurants ahead of time, find out what products would have gluten, or contact food companies such as your yogurts and things like that to see if they actually have gluten. If you do have celiac disease, you do need to avoid gluten at all costs, and that really means thinking about cross-contamination at home and outside of the home. So for instance, you would maybe need to look at getting your own toaster to toast your gluten-free bread, your own peanut butter, your own margarine, your own jam, where if someone would be having a piece of toast that isn't gluten-free and using those condiments, it would become contaminated. So there's a lot of different things to consider in that way, and it's really important then to probably consult with a dietitian to help you look at all those areas.
And I notice a lot of manufacturers are putting it right on the label, like if it's gluten-free or if it has that additive. So what are some alternative foods that people can eat?
So there is a lot of foods that don't have gluten. So our fruits and vegetables have no gluten in them. Most of our milk products are gluten-free. Our meats are gluten-free as long as they haven't been breaded or marinated within the store, then you can at least control that at home. But it definitely comes down to our grains. So there's a lot of gluten-free products in the store. For instance, Safeway actually has a whole gluten-free aisle as well as gluten-free bread. But what you really want to look for is whole grains that are gluten-free. So quinoa is that gluten-free, buckwheat, amaranth, rice flour, corn flour. Those are all grains that would be considered gluten-free.
And what are some recipes or things that people can make at home that would create a gluten-free meal?
So the one thing with that is also to mention, as I did before, is Safeway has a lot, and I know that other stores with MPA do as well, have pre-mixes, so you can make your own bread, you can make your own pizza dough already that way. But some great ideas is making spinach salad with strawberries and adding quinoa to it. That's a great option. You could take gluten-free commercial oats.
What dishes or recipes would you recommend for people who are going gluten-free?
So in regards to dishes and recipes with gluten-free, as I mentioned, there's a lot of foods you can have, and it's just being creative. So for instance, you could take commercial rolled oats that are gluten-free or gluten-free granola and put that on top of your yogurt in the morning with some nice berries and even a little bit of honey on there if you're using plain yogurt. Another option is to make make your soups a little bit more hearty with your vegetables is to add some brown rice or wild rice to your soups. Popcorn is a gluten-free product, which is a great snack, and you can do a lot of different things with that. So those are some options that it just means being a little bit more creative in your day. The one thing to make sure to consider is that when you are eating gluten-free products, that our regular grain products are enriched. So that means they're adding vitamins and minerals to them. And so if you are gluten-free, you might not be getting enough vitamins and minerals throughout the day. So really important to talk to a dietitian if you are eating gluten-free and ensuring that you're getting a well-balanced diet and meeting your nutritional daily needs.
Excellent. And there's even gluten-free hot dogs nowadays. Thank you so much, Renee, for talking with us.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
That's Renee Coles from the Grocery Aisle.